Your voice is irritating and annoying, right? Those words sunk into me like a seed just planting in there. And I know my mom did not mean it. I was being a brat. I was being so obnoxious, and she was just at her wit's end. But it shaped who I became. I was afraid of my own voice, the sound of it. I thought it was irritating. I thought nobody wanted to hear it. So I stopped raising my hand and stopped participating, and I became terrified of reading out loud. And I remember when I was in my 30s, I was like, in the worst moment, I was desperate. There was darkness all around. I was trying to figure out how to get out of it, and I was like depressed. I was losing everything, and everything around me was crumbling. And I was like, how do I get out? I have to use my voice. It has to come out louder than it was ever before. And it had to become stronger than it ever came before. And I had to ask for help. It was not an easy thing to do. And as I sat there, I had to rediscover who I was and what did I want in my life. And I thought, how can I do this? I need an opportunity to show up. And 2 days later, a friend called me and goes, hey, Amy, I got to play. I need a table read, and I need somebody to play the nurse. I'm like, no. No way. And I'm like, wait a minute. Yes, I can. And as everybody's introducing themselves, they're like, oh, I'm an actor. I've done this play. And I'm like, oh, my God. They get to me, and I'm like, hi, I'm Amy. I like plays, and I know Jamie. And I'd read the script. I'm like, oh, my God, thank God I die. So I'm done early. And afterwards, he's like, hi, Amy, how was it? I'm like, I don't know. I shut off the screen as soon as I was done, and I thought, it's blank. And I'm like, I don't even know who killed me. Not a clue. It wasn't until years later I found out who. But I had gone into this crazy space and like got over that fear of nobody even knew that I was terrified of speaking out loud, especially reading, right? I couldn't say the words. I was a nurse, so I was digitoxin. We still laugh about it. I'm like, I could not get that word out for nothing. I'm like, oh my God, why'd I get medical terms? And so you just think, I'm like, okay, but I want more. What can I do? And I started thinking about how could my voice be started to get amplified, heard by more than just a Zoom room, right? And I thought, I'm going to start a podcast. And this was like a long time ago. And I was like, okay, let's do it. If I can't do it alone, oh my God, no. So I picked a co-host, and we picked the fun travel and like health and wellness and entrepreneurship. And I'm like, this will be fun. And I picked Mike. Mike was charismatic. He was gorgeous. He was young. He was energetic. And he overtalked me every single time. I'm like, dang it. And I had to do all the production. So I was like listening to myself. And I'm like, which is not easy for me to do when I thought my voice is horrible. But when I got to say things, I impressed myself. And I wanted more. So when the world shut down, my business shut down, my podcast actually shut down as well. And I thought, this is okay. It's time for me to figure things out. And I did not want to be edited or overshadowed by anybody else. And today, I'm finally producing my next podcast. It's in production. Aligning Your Voice. And it's aligning your voice. It's about the stories we tell ourselves and the stories we tell others. And I get to be on a live podcast with Christina every Wednesday morning, and it's so fun. And I never would have thought I could have done that. We jump on and we're like, what are we talking about? Okay, great, go. And it's easy. But it always was a little bit scary of every single time I had to find the courage of who I was and the little action steps I took along the way. And then I thought, let's figure this last one out, public speaking. So I enrolled in a class during the shutdown, and I thought, let's do this. And I did an origin story for 6 weeks. Again, Zoom, right? Thank God for Zoom at that time. I did my story, and I'm like, I can do this. And there starts the tears, the snot. And by the end of it, I was like, and it was just, you hiccup and you can't even get the words out. I'm like, okay. Again, blank screen, like I'm off. 2 days later, I think I don't even know what happened. I was gone. But I had done that. And I'm like, I want more. And John, the instructor, he was a TEDx speaker coach. And I'm like, I can help you do this program and we can do better. Let's work together. So for 3 years, we worked on that program. We made it better. We streamlined it. We produced it. And all of a sudden, I started co-leading it. Till one day he calls me and goes, Amy, I have to talk to you. I'm like, oh, what? You make me super nervous and I'm a bit concerned. I'm like, why? You're better at this than I am. New seed planted. Wow. And I thought of my, like, I am. Right? And it was so fun, and it was interesting, and we kept going, and we kept leading it. And when I left, and we parted ways great, he never did another one again. So it was really interesting to see my role and how I led that. I'm like, I can do this for myself. Yeah. And I remember getting the opportunity to do speaking to women all over the world. And I was doing it, and they were like, okay, help them with their story. I'm like, okay. And as people tell me their story, as I see it, there are threads that show up in front of me, and I weave those stories as I'm listening. And I see them, I look into them, I look at who they are, and then I retell it back to them. So they can hear it. Wow. They can hear the strength of who they are and the beauty that they are, because we don't always hear it. We sometimes need to experience that so that seed can drop. And they can become powerful in who they are. And that's what I love to do. I found out that was my superpower. That's who I am and who I was meant to be. And I love every moment of it. And so I got to get clarity of who I was and the courage to take tiny little actions, even some of them were massive for me. And I got to be the confident person who I am today, standing on the stage, which, I'll be honest, this would have never had happen 5 years ago. And so this journey to me was just showing up, finding my voice, and knowing that every single person has a voice inside them that needs to be shared. Thank you.